Yes, okay. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aimee. I was with Ipieca for about a year during my placement, but now I'm back in Petronas since just recently. On behalf of Ipieca, I'll be your moderator for today's session. Welcome to today's webinar on Sustainability Reporting 101, focusing on introduction and essential steps in producing your sustainability reporting. This webinar is hosted by Ipieca, API, IOGP, and in collaboration with ASCOPE. To provide you with a bit of background, Ipieca, API, and IOGP have jointly developed the sustainability reporting guidance for the oil and gas industry. And as part of the ongoing efforts to enhance awareness and understanding of sustainability reporting, these three associations have been and are organizing a series of webinars across different regions. So this is a second regional webinar. The first ones were co-hosted with ARPEL, focusing on the Latin America region. And again, as I mentioned, today's webinar is conducted in collaboration with ASCOPE, a regional association in ASEAN region. We have a representative from Ipieca, my fellow colleague, Duigo Govan. I'm very pleased to invite you to say a few words before we begin. Over to you, Duigo.
Thank you very much, Aimee. Thanks, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to join you today. My name is Duygu Güven, and I'm the Senior Manager for Sustainability and Social Performance at Ipieca. Ipieca is a global oil and gas association working to advance environmental and social performance across the energy transition. And for many years, we are, as Aimee said, we are working with our members to advance sustainability reporting in the industry. And our collaboration with IOGP and API has enabled us with guidance documents and very good discussions among members on good practice. We are here today, and we are very delighted to be with you today through our valued partnership between Ipieca and ASCOPE. And I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the ASCOPE team, especially Mr. Concept and his valuable, wonderful team members, Tia and Phoebe, for bringing us all together here and making this event possible. Thank you again, and I look forward to productive and engaging sessions with you all. Thank you, Aimee.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah. Thank you, Diego. So before we begin, just a few quick housekeeping notes. For your information, this session is being recorded, and we will share the recording and slides with all the registered participants. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box during the webinar. We should have time for questions at the end after the presentations. And finally, make sure your microphone is muted during the presentations to help us minimize the background noise. Right. Now, I'm very thrilled to introduce our lineup of speakers for today. We have Fadli Rahman, the Chair of ASCOPE Clean Energy Task Force and Director of Strategic Planning and Business Development in Pertamina. We have Birgitte Horneland, Ipieca Reporting Working Group Chair, and also a Principal Engineer Climate and Sustainability in Equinor. We do have Mas Ayu binti M. Hussein from the Corporate Sustainability in Petronas, Hendrik Warman from Business Sustainability Department in Pertamina. Today, these amazing speakers are going to be sharing with us insights on Sustainability Reporting 101. Before we start, let us hear from Mr. Fadli Rahman for opening remarks. Unfortunately, we can't have him live in this webinar, therefore he has kindly prepared a video for us.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues from ASCOPE member countries, our partner Ipieca, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me as the chair of the ASCOPE Clean Energy Task Force to welcome all of you to today's webinar on Introduction to Sustainability Reporting. On behalf of CATF, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to Ipieca for the support and collaboration. We are pleased to welcome this partnership, starting with today's webinar as one of our initial joint activities with Ipieca. This webinar is a part of our follow-up actions from the task force meeting during the 50th ASCOPE Council meeting held in Bangkok just last September. One key message from that meeting is the need to strengthen institutional capacity on sustainability, as well as harmonize sustainability practices across ASEAN energy companies. And today's session is one of ASCOPE and CETF's strategic initiatives in introducing sustainability reporting. Sustainability reporting is a strategic instrument that enhances transparency, guides decision-making, and embeds ESG principles into business and operational strategies. In a region where energy security and sustainability must progress together, developing a shared understanding of sustainability reporting is essential. I encourage all participants to take today's learning not only as technical knowledge, but as a call to action to strengthen sustainability awareness within your respective organization, to advance clean energy initiatives, and to ensure that our business decisions consistently reflect our commitment to ESG principles and regional sustainability goals. I hope this session provides practical insights that participants can take back and apply in your ongoing sustainability and clean energy initiatives. Thank you once again for your active participation.
Okay, let's move on. That was an inspiring speech from Mr. Fali Rahman and a great way to kick off our webinar. Now, pleased to invite Brigadier Hodneland to provide a bit of context setting on sustainability reporting, as well as introducing the Ipieca-API-IGP sustainability reporting guidance. The floor is yours, Brigadier.
Can you hear me? Is the sound okay? Okay. Thank you as well for this opportunity to come and speak to you. So what we would just like to say at the beginning is that it's great to have the opportunity to share some experience and knowledge from our group in Ipieca. And we have over many years, decades, established a guidance which we keep working with because we want it to be relevant. And even if you are just starting out doing the first year of sustainability reporting, or you're an advanced reporter on sustainability, this guidance is a crucial tool, or we want it to be a crucial tool, both for those that are just starting out and for those that are more advanced reporters and preparers of sustainability reporting. It means that, for example, for the company I work for, Equinor, we also use the guidance to secure that we are hitting the mark and understanding what is the appropriate categories used on a specific topic. There is, I was a bit uncertain of the PowerPoint now, if, yes, that's it. Yes, thank you. Okay, excellent. So what I want to then also say for what's the crucial benefits of reporting, I would like to also start by thinking about the old-fashioned SWOT, looking at strength.
My screen is showing the previous video also. Please unmute. Move it.
I heard someone on the line. Okay. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and risk. SWOT analysis on companies, meaning that about the benefits of reporting on sustainability is an extension of how to get to know your company better and understand the environment in around and surrounding your company. It then will give you a better understanding of your strengths, but also the impact you have on the community, on the environment, and it can help you navigate. And first and foremost, when you do reporting, you set benchmarks that you can show progress and show that you are improving your performance as well. So measuring activities and evaluating as you go will extend your performance. Also, with sustainability reporting, it is a communication tool. It is an opportunity as well to speak and reach out to stakeholders. And stakeholders has important voices that can also inform your decision making, and it can also help you reach out and build trust to the community, investors. And what we see with investors, for example, if we see at a trend at a global scale as well, they tend to appreciate more of that standardization and the legislation that is coming at us when it comes to sustainability reporting. Investors, of course, they would like to benchmark, they would like to compare companies. So being confident and having a good standing with investors, I believe that benefits of the reporting on sustainability will strengthen your case with investors. And also, when you do reporting, it clarifies the purpose and also the resilience in a long-term setting. And yes, we do also see that evidence that good sustainability performance, if you think about the G in ESG, sorry, sometimes there come some voices from which are unmuted, so then I tend to stop a little bit. I'm sorry to have those interruptions, but yes, I will go ahead. So where was I? I was saying that when you look at ESG, I would definitely say the G, which means governance and business conduct. It also then have a link to the good sustainability performance, also secure that you are running an optimal business, efficient way, and it gives also those connections to a financial, enhances the financial performance and access to capital. We can probably then step up to the next slide. So this slide about stakeholders shows which groups and users of the information that you can reach out to. So of course, when you then are building the report, there are these crucial elements that I also mentioned as ESG, environment, social, and governance. But this one also shows some of these pinpointers within these categories. So for within the social sphere, it also gives you those hooks to what you should consider thinking about when reporting. These can be both qualitative information that you need, or there are positive, good best practice on what to prioritize when you do decide for what to have in your report, and also the quantitative metrics. So I would definitely say that with many years and the decades of experience having the sustainability reporting develop and evolve, you can use the guidance to find and identify which information which is most relevant for you and your company, which metrics are telling something about your performance and can also show in a longer term what progress do you do. So it can really provide some really valuable information for you to take some decisions on what to include. So these are the typical sustainability matters that are identified over years in the oil and gas industries. Also on the process, I did touch upon it. There is that long list, the gross list, if you might say so. But there is also a job going through and really identifying which are the issues that are the most of value and telling what your company has the most important impact on, meaning that you do the first steps identifying, but you also take the next step by prioritizing. So you have to go ahead and also make some prioritizations, because if you want the report to be of great value, the guidance is showing that you have to find your material issues, those that are significantly have an effect related to your company's performance and financial value from the perspective of a company management and external stakeholders. And of course, things are changing. Things are changing within your company. Things are changing in the surroundings. So also the classic way of running a process with having a check as well, securing also that in your report you are providing a balanced picture, not just the positive storytelling, but it's a balanced reporting, showcasing a realistic picture of your company's performance. And the disclosing as well, a little bit quick there. Yeah, so the double materiality element you see here, I just really short want to say that traditionally with, for example, global reporting initiative, which have been a standard framework showcasing indicators, it's been focusing on the impact that a company has on environment or social matters outside its company, but it's impacting then the environment, for example, or an affected communities and so on. When the double materiality as a concept, it introduces that dimension of how does climate change affect your company, and then especially for the financial side of things, how does it have a financial effect on your company, the climate change, for example. Okay, then we move on. I know that also the speakers that comes for the next speakers will speak to many of these points as well, but I can pick up also on consistency. For example, consistency is also building your credibility. And I would also say that this list of pinpointers here of relevance, transparency, consistency, completeness, and accuracy, these things are elements on. There's some noise on the call now. Please mute if you have a chance. Thank you. So these are keywords to enhance your report and how to report and with high quality. These are principles that also are crucial in the way you work with the auditor. So securing completeness, for example, also secures that you are not just having partially information in your report, it's a complete set of information. Consistency, I touched upon that, but I also want to mention that consistency, for example, in a world right now where we have artificial intelligence that can collect information, thinking about consistency, it's so crucial for us to succeed when we do communicate with externals and stakeholders. So then these are principles to take into consideration. And we can now move to the next slide. So the sustainability reporting guidance, what we've seen now in the previous slides are content from the sustainability reporting guidance. It's a guidance that API and IOGP has been working on in a partnership as well on sustainability reporting since 2005. So it brings that knowledge from those years. And also it has been endorsed by 4 associations and their members around the globe in this June of 2025 when we had the last edition launched. It is a comprehensive guidance, and you could then read it also then step by step. I see that someone says that the slides seem to be not appearing. I think if you click to kind of sync with the one presenting, it should then move along appropriately. But if you are not clicking on, or if you're clicking on the arrows, it might create a stop in this automatic presenters moving from slide to slide. So that could be a reason. Okay, it looks like maybe it's all good now, but yeah, just for your information, we will provide the slide package. You will receive this slide package after the webinar. Okay, to sum up, this sustainability reporting guidance, it covers 21 sustainability issues. It is 4 indicated categories, and it would also say that we've done this crucial step to have 6 modules. And the reason for that is that when we want to update, as you see the 6 modules, I hope you see the slide right now, but listing the 6 modules, it's the reporting process, which is a separate module. And then there's a governance and business ethics module. It's a climate change and energy module. It's a module on environment. And also there is a module on safety, health, and security. And there is a module on social. So if, for example, we have had things changing on a regulatory setting in Europe, and also ISSB, which is a global initiative, then there are elements within these modules that needs updating. For us then, it is a very efficient way of working with our members then to focus, for example, on one module at a time and look at how can we update the environment, for example. Or we had a really extensive update of the social one just last year. So these modules are also then structured in a way to make sure that the guidance is up to speed, it hits the mark, and it's relevant. Yes, I think we can start wrapping up a little bit. This one also points out of the guidance structure on the module. So also thinking about how you are building your report, it will give you, as you see, hopefully you see the slide, which also showcase how the introduction, explaining a bit on how to have the starting point for your report and making sure that you have key points that you address, how crucial that is for also building your narrative, and the indicators that you can support that topic by. Also, you will find references and links in the report that can also then, you can go to that resource, use those links and read more and get more information. Okay. Dugi, how am I on time? Just to make sure I'm not exceeding my time, or Amy. Okay, good. Let me know. Okay. So this one, I would definitely say that is also from my own experience within Equinor. And it's also, I would assume that building those alliances across the company is one step that is so fundamentally for success. What do I mean by that? It means that the communication you have across with other function than just the sustainability function within your company is fundamental to have a successful report. So within the process of building your report, it is a legal team that should be there and support. I say the word should and you should. I don't mean it more as a very, it's more polite to say these are guidance, and I just think these are sharing experience. So excuse me for saying in that way, but from experience at least, this is crucial elements in how to communicate across the company. And like the design team as well, it's helping you to highlight and showcase in a reader-friendly way. And as well with the board and the management strategy to secure that you are keeping the integrity of your company strategy, having on board all of these different functions in your company and have that as a company-wide effort is part of the fundamentals to succeed when you do sustainability reporting. Of course, the operations and the business itself and the finance, we of course have now done some extensive work on internal control program for sustainability data due to the EU legislation. So also taking the synergy effects from years and experience within the finance function has been of high value. So yes, I think that collaboration is fundamental to succeed for sustainability reporting. And it's also then understanding both ways what the reporting means and can provide. Then we can step to the next slide, please. And then I have shared some experience directly from Equinor, but then I also am here today as a chair for the reporting working group, which is a wide member group of companies from the oil and gas sector, where we have very valuable discussions and peer sharing and learnings. We have a monthly call each month, and it has great value to develop and understand and mature, because sustainability reporting takes into consideration so many different matters that have so many different angles and aspects to them. So it's a continuing learning process. And I'm very pleased now that we are going to hear from the next speaker. And Amy, then I will give and pass the word over to you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brigitte, for the very interesting presentation. Now, without further ado, let's give the floor to Mas Ayu from Petronas to share with us the sustainability reporting aspects from an oil and gas company perspective. Over to you, Mas Ayu, if you're in the call.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Amy. Assalamualaikum, good afternoon, and good morning, or from where you are. Thank you to the organizer for letting me share some of my experiences and also Petronas's experiences in this topic. So let's dive straight in. So this is, of course, it's the work of my legal department. They are very good at it. It's in a fine print. Fine means small and very hard to read. Well, joke aside, I think this is one of the utmost tips in sustainability reporting. you need to put your legal departments on board to guide you on the cautionaries, the do's and don'ts, and how do you assess and manage disclosure risks. So one of which is this cautionary statement. Okay, so next, please. So I think first, let me just recap a bit about Petronas. We are a global energy company committed to producing and delivering energy and solutions needed to advance society responsibly and sustainably. As the Malaysia National Oil and Gas Company, we safeguard and manage the nation's hydrocarbon resources, finding the balance between the energy security, affordability, and also sustainability. We continue to expand our portfolio to offer integrated solutions across the conventional and also the cleaner energy. We offer diverse range of fuels, lubricant, petrochemical products, renewable energy, green mobility, biofuels, to name a few, to manage our growing and evolving customers' needs amidst the energy transition. Okay, we aim to maintain our role as the trusted partner in the transition towards a lower carbon future, and further strengthened by our continued efforts to drive improved emissions performance, address the impacts to nature, and also support social progress. So in ensuring sustainability practices across our operation, it's important that how we conduct our business, how we engage our employees, customers, suppliers, local communities, and other stakeholders. So this is reflected in our sustainability and how sustainability is rooted in our statement of purpose. So as you can see there, progressive energy solution partner enriching lives for a sustainable future. So you can also see on the screen our key highlights for the year 2024. Yeah, so let's move on. Okay, I think Brigitte has already touched a bit of this, and what I'm saying is sustainability standards and regulations have evolved rapidly. Alongside these voluntary frameworks that you see here, there are also now increasing focus on mandatory disclosure requirements. So disclosures and transparency are important aspect of good governance. They allow our stakeholders to understand an organization performance, allows informed decisions to be made. So if you look at financial resources, right, just financial information is not enough. Investors are looking for the non-financial related information as well. So to Petronas as a global energy company again, we navigate this complex legal and regulatory landscapes with the need to adhere to the diverse law and also these extra territorial effects. So we are guided by international principles, framework, standards, as you can see here, to ensure that our reporting is accurate, reliable, and comprehensive. Of course, it's a journey. We started, I think, way back, and now we are improving ourselves, closing the gaps where we can. So among the standards here is the TCFD, now is the IFRS, the S1, S2, and then GRI, and also the GAG protocol, just to name a few. So our sustainability reporting are mainly disclosed in our integrated reports. As you can see there, that's the 2024 ones, as well as in our Petronas website. Okay, so on this regulatory and framework, right? So I would like to emphasize that do not take sustainability reporting as just a mandatory compliance exercise. This frameworks is actually a strategic tool that can be used to steer and manage the key sustainability risks and opportunities for the company. So if you're looking at it at a compliance base, then it becomes a missed opportunities, okay? So next, please. So again, I think the word global here is key because it makes it more complicated, right? There are jurisdictional requirements where we operate. Some are converging and also overlapping, but they are to be addressed based on their respective requirements. Australia, for example, Europe, for example. And then what we're saying here is you look at the eligibility and implications to the company where you operate, and then the exposure and so on. So you need to take stock assess the similarity or differences. We ask ourselves, what is our strategy in meeting this requirement? And then whether it is locally driven or center driven. I'll take nature, for example. Most often than not, their disclosure is very local centric, right? So climate, in some of the way, you can actually do center driven. Yeah. So one of the things is, to us, we aim for seamless connection, and we try to simplify where possible. So there are definitely right now, there are some early no regret moves, especially in the case of EU sustainability reporting with Omnibus. This got deferred. So in Malaysia, due to the reliefs, we can now address the gaps. Malaysia have Malaysia National Sustainability Reporting, NSRF we call it, National Sustainability Reporting Framework, which aligns to IFRS. We can now address the gaps in our current reporting because of the reliefs in a more meaningful ways. So how we are going to embed this and who's to be accountable parties, and you have more times for this. So then it is more meaningful to us rather than just, a compliance exercise. So example that I put forth here, one of the no regrets move is materiality. So in Petronas, we've been doing that, I think, more than 5 years already, from a single to double materiality. And by doing that, right, it is more like a foundational element. The more you understand and deep dive in the preparations of this, the more you can articulate the risk and turning some into opportunities. More engagement you can do, and when you leave it to the last minute, it tends to be a ticking the box exercise, and you're not reaping the benefits. Okay, so another element that I put there is, of course, the assurance. In terms of designing a certain process and system, right? So it has to be a risk-focused assurance, whereby, it has to be this element of auditability as well. So one of the key that we're looking right now is this enough for the audit trail or in the assurance process? Because in NSRF, for example, Malaysia, assurance is one of the mandatory element in the law. Okay, so once you realize the value of whatever you're doing towards this sustainability reporting, right? This is not it's easier for you to convince the stakeholders because you can see the value. Again, I would like to emphasize, important to note that regulatory compliance isn't itself the end goal. The work to improve sustainability practices and embed the effective risk management is never work wasted. Okay, so next, please. So this is next. Okay, this is the stages, I would say, or if you were to look at it from a decision usefulness, comparable, consistent information on sustainability related risks and opportunities, right? This is how we in Petronas is kind of like flowing the informations through. One of it is it's really deeply rooted in a statement of purpose, and we also put it in our strategy. So we call it Petronas Energy Strategy. So within the core business itself, there is this element of more energy with less emissions. And in new businesses, these are the new growth opportunities. And renewables, for example, hydrogens, are in this category. And of course, we have our net zero, pathway to net zero. So then you're saying that this huge overarching strategy, we are further guided with our sustainability approach. So the center of which is actually creating sustainable value through responsible governance. So then we have delivering net zero. We have thriving with nature, as well as fostering a just transition. Those are the elements that supporting the value creation. Okay, so I mentioned about material topics. So then these are the material topics that we're guided by the approach. So when you have a narrative that's coherent and it's from the top, So then your reporting becomes easier and your narrative becomes flow and coherent. So this is supported by data processes, and it's all well guided. So I think this is all the sharing that I have for today. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you, Amy.
Thank you, Masai, for the great presentation. Without wasting our time, we can move on to the next presentation. I would like to invite Henrik from Pertamina to share his insights too. The floor is yours, Henrik.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Henrik Moraman. I'm from Business Sustainability in PT Pertamina Persero. I'm pleased to share how Pertamina integrate our sustainability effort to the business operation, and also for the example of reporting practice. First, I will share about the brief introduction about Pertamina. Yeah, we are state-owned enterprise energy company in Indonesia, owned by state-owned enterprise regulatory agency, and also Danantara as our sovereign wealth fund. We manage integrated energy business from upstream to downstream through the subholding, and we also manage the new renewable energy subholding in our integrated business. The institution that oversight the Pertamina is Ministry of Finance of Indonesia, and also Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resource, Danantara, and also the SOE regulatory agency. Next slide. Okay. We are implement sustainability with the aspiration to become the environmentally friendly company, socially responsible company, and well-governed company. This aspiration reflected in the company's sustainability policy, outline commitment across all ESG aspect and also the economic aspect. Governance plays a vital role in ensuring our sustainability implementation. Pertamina has established, established the dedicated sustainability organization, including sustainability committee in the board level and also the operational level to engage all relevant function. So the engagement from the board until the operation function is important to embed sustainability in the business operation. Next slide. Okay. We have the sustainability life cycle that consists of interconnected stage, which is strategy, target, initiative, and the final is disclosure. We begin with our sustainability strategy, which align with our long-term corporate plan, annual work plan, and also net zero emission roadmap that we will want to achieve in 2060 or sooner. The decarbonization target covering short-term and long-term target with align with the NZE roadmap. We also have the ESG initiative to achieve as a tool to achieve the decarbonization goals. The ESG initiative mainly consists of the decarbonization program that covering the economic, environmental, social, and governance dimension. And also we have the low carbon business project that managed through cross-functional coordination led by project delivery office. Besides that, we have also non-climate related programs such as water management, health and safety, employee well-being, human rights, cybersecurity, and other ESG related initiative. Finally, all of this program must publish and inform to the stakeholder by the disclosure, and we have ratings as performance assessment for the ESG implementation in Pertamina. We have submit and engage with the ratings such as Sustainalytics, CDP, and MSCI, and we also develop our sustainability report every year, and also we we publish, and also we report to the shareholder. The cycle ensures that sustainability is not just a concept, but integrated part of Pertamina's business performance and accountability to the stakeholder. Next slide. Okay. This is our main strategy translated into 10 sustainability focus, which is aligned with the SDGs target, Sustainability Development Goals target. It reflects our materiality issue as long-term target in the sustainability. This focus form the foundation of ESG initiative that we monitor and we collect we deliver every year. Then the program support sustainable economic growth, environmental protection, and social well-being, and also the Pertamina material topic until 2030. It's aligned with the SDGs target. Next slide. Okay, this is our path to the sustainability reporting. We are publishing the sustainability report since 2011. This initiative began as part of Pertamina's plan to expand our business reach as ESG performance become an important aspect for both investor and partners. Today, our reporting refers to several global frameworks such as SDGs, SASB, TCFD, and the early adoption of IFRS S1 and S2 in sustainability. And in the future, we plan to adopt the Task Force for Natural Related Financial Disclosure, or TNFD, to further our strengthen its approach in managing environmental impacts. For reporting standard, Pertamina applies both national and international reference such as GRI, also Ipieca, UN Women, and the local regulation from Indonesian Financial Service Authority, or OJK. Next slide. Okay. We have integrated our ESG reporting with corporate strategy to ensure that sustainability performance is measurable, actionable, and transparent. The process consists of 7 key steps. First is conduct the material assessment. It is the important one to identify the environmental, social, and economic issues that are relevant to our business and stakeholder expectation. And then assess the current baseline. Next, we set the objective and targets, analyze the gaps to achieving future state. The 5th step is develop the strategies, and the last is report and communicate the result. Through this process, ESG reporting becomes not only a compliance activity, but a strategic tool to drive continuous improvement and accountability. Next slide. Okay. What is the benefit of the report? The benefit is the sustainability report is providing strategy insight that support a long-term value creation for the company, building investor confidence through strong risk management and ethical business conduct, ensuring transparency by communicating ESG performance to all of the stakeholders and publicly available, enhancing employee engagement and retention through shared sustainability values. Our process, this is our example process to preparation of sustainability report. We first it's defining the scope, structure, and timeline, and then we have the materiality topic assessment, which is we identify significant ESG topics in the reporting years, data processing and drafting, data confirmation and validation, which is we use the third-party assurance to ensure the data accuracy and credibility, and finalizing and publication to our stakeholder, shareholder, and the public. Next. Okay. This is example of our important step to develop the sustainability reporting. This is a materiality topic assessment. We determine material topics that significantly impact our ESG performance through interview and consultation with investor, government bodies, shareholder, employees, consumer, and communities. So the stakeholder mapping is the important before we held the materiality topic assessment. This topic reflect both stakeholder priorities and also our sustainability strategy. You can find the how to assess the materiality topic in both Ipieca and also in GRI guideline. It is very helpful to go for the materiality topic assessment and also for develop your sustainability report. Next slide. This is the assurance process is not mandatory, but it is recommended to ensure your accurate and credibility and transparency of your sustainability report. Pertamina applying AA 1000 assurance standard version 3, we have type 1 and type 2 and moderate level of assurance. This process strengthens stakeholder trust and enhance the integrity of our ESG disclosure and also our sustainability report. Next slide. Okay, this is our last slide. The key challenge in sustainability reporting. What is our challenge in sustainability reporting? First is the data collection and validation. We have more than 100 subsidiaries and more than 200 operational unit. And also different industries. So we need to integrate system from upstream to downstream to ensure accuracy. The assurance process that I present in the previous slide is very essential. The second is integration with business strategy. Many reports only describe activities without showing the real impact to the financial and also the financial impact. Pertamina is working to better link sustainability performance with business value. The third challenge is global reporting alignment. We internationally many framework and many standard used to create the sustainability report. And also the challenge is the investor and stakeholder have their own appetite. So it is the challenge to improve our quality, comparability, and transparency. We need each of the standard has interoperability between their standard and guideline. To summarize, our integrated sustainability principle across our operation using ESG initiative as key tools to achieve our decarbonization goals and also the ESG performance to align with the national and global standard and target. We believe that sustainability goes beyond compliance. It is about the commitment and real impact for people and the planet. Okay, thank you. I will go back to Amy.
Thank you very much, Henrik, for the valuable insights. Finally, before we open the floor for Q&As, please to invite Lucy from IRGP to summarize the key takeaways from today's webinar. Over to you, Lucy.
Thank you, Amy. Just to close, I'd like to highlight a few key takeaways on sustainability reporting. So first, sustainability reporting is about communicating a company's environmental, social, and governance, ESG performance, to a wide range of stakeholders. As we saw on one of the slides at the beginning, this is now a standard practice. 96% of the world's top companies report on their sustainability performance. It's also a strategic communication tool that helps companies reach stakeholders in a clear and credible way. It builds trust and strengthens a company's standing with investors who use this information for benchmarking and long-term assessment. Second, reporting delivers real business benefits. It can improve operational efficiency, strengthen stakeholder engagement, and enhance financial performance. As Brigitte highlighted, good governance is closely linked to strong sustainability performance because it helps ensure the business is run in an efficient and resilient way. And this can support access to capital and reinforce investor confidence. Third, materiality is at the heart of effective reporting. Identifying and prioritizing the issues that matter most ensures that information is relevant and decision useful. And as we've heard today, double materiality adds an important dimension, looking at how the company affects society and the environment, as well as how these issues influence the company's financial performance. Fourth, sustainability reporting is a collective effort. It requires collaboration across teams from operations and finance to HR and management, and the best reports reflect input and ownership across the organization. This collaboration also supports organizational resilience because it aligns people around a shared understanding of risks, opportunities, and progress. Finally, credibility depends on transparency, accuracy, and completeness. These principles underpin stakeholder confidence and make reports meaningful. And remember, this is a journey. Many companies start small and improve over time. Each reporting cycle helps strengthen data, systems, and internal coordination, and that's how real progress is made. So thank you, everyone. And with that, I'll pass back over to you, Amy, for Q&A.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for the quick sharing on the key takeaways from the webinar. All right, we'll now move into the Q&A sessions where we will address some of your questions. If you haven't already, please type your questions into the Q&A box, the chat box. You can also unmute yourself if you'd like to ask the question. We'll do our best to answer as many as possible during the remaining time. We've got one question here in the chat. I'm going to read the question first. Is it worth to implement sustainability reporting requirement in ASEAN? Considering how involving the exercise can be, is there any threshold requirement for the reporting company? Based upon the directives, we know which one should we lean towards as an implementing model to develop from. Noted on the guidance, Ipieca, AGP guidelines, but this is looking from regulatory point of view. The aim as a regulator is to have a transparent reporting from all that will avoid greenwashing from non-monetary reporting. Maybe Masayu and Hendrik, if you guys would like to start first, looking at the ASEAN companies' point of view, and maybe Brigitte, if you'd like to jump in.
Yeah, let me start, Amy. Thank you. I think if the question is if it's worth the implementation of sustainability reporting, I think it is, because in Petronas, we can see the values of sustainability reporting. I would like to say in any transparency, it breeds accountability. So when you have accountability, then it's very clear. It's very clear to, one, if you have a commitment, then you know this is how you get there. And commitment is just not for nothing, yeah, because you are aligning yourself to one, it's global requirement. Two, it's actually national, which is the country itself. So in Malaysia, for example, we have NDCs, and the question for Petronas is how do you support NDC? So that's why in supporting that, we have our own commitment. So when you have that, it breeds accountability, as I mentioned. So another thing that I talk about work is once you talk about value, right? So this value can be in terms of dollar and cents, where I take examples of some of the climate initiatives. There are energy efficiency in there. There are zero routine flaring and venting. So those are how you're turning from waste into revenue. So when there's a value, then people can see that this is worth doing. Then hence you need to report, because when you are into a certain organization like World Bank, for example, for zero routine flaring, you need to report. And with this report, then you know where you are at. So that's two points from me. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Masayu. Hendrik and Brigitte, would you like to jump in?
Okay, thank you, Amy. For the Pertamina perspective, the sustainability report is first is the mandatory by law, and also this is our chance to get the partner and also the investor. We have the sustainability loan and also the sustainability bond that the investor is that we have the sustainability report. We must disclose our strategy. We must disclose our program and also the performance of our strategy. This is very, very important to get the partner also. So it is yeah, it is very important for Pertamina to have the sustainability report.
Thank you, Hendrik. Brigitte, would you like to add on based on your experience in the Europe, looking at ASEAN landscape?
Yes, I can add, thinking about, I have to use Equinor as an example then. Being a listed company, you are building trust in the capital markets. So if you're going to build that trust, and then also thinking about at the end of the question, it was the aim as a regulator is to have a transparent reporting from all that will avoid greenwashing from non-mandatory reporting. I understand it's saying here non-mandatory reporting, but I would think about either if it's mandatory or non-mandatory reporting. If you think about sustainability reporting in the sense that that report is a document to build trust. It doesn't really matter if it's due to mandatory reporting or non-mandatory. It's a document that you want to secure is telling a story, and it's providing information that is accurate, consistent, balanced. So I'm back to these principles that we were showing. And with that document, which is both a communication tool, but think about it also that the report is a document that is building trust in the capital markets. It's a document that are building trust also with stakeholders, also then thinking about the social license to operate. So it's just crucial to think about developing sustainability reporting is also about having a document that's truthful, it's relevant, it's balanced, it's worth the paper, it's worth the document, giving that information to different stakeholders, and that can give opportunities. Yes, that was my take. Yeah.
Thank you for the valuable answers. I hope that address all the questions by Adimas. I think we can move on to the second question here from Fajrin Kusuma Wijaya. My name is Fajrin from Pertamina. He's from Pertamina. 2 questions. One is if you could choose only 3 indicators in the sustainability report to assess whether oil and gas company is genuinely transitioning rather than continuing business as usual. What are the 3 and why? And then the second question is very much relevant in terms of multiple standards, ISSB, GRI, TCFD, TNFD. So for oil and gas, what's the most effective way to choose and align these standards so that we're not over-engineered and remain credible in the global investors' eyes? Over to you, speakers.
Can I attempt the first one? Okay, so if I were to choose indicators, right, or I'll give you 2, let the others cover some as well. So one is emission reductions. To me, those are very operational impact. So you can actually see the actual decarbonization efforts through these reductions. For Petronas, we start off with our scope 1, scope 2. And we starting to understand what's the impact of our scope 3. So all this understanding, right? So then it creates this momentum for decarbonization exercise within your operations. So that's one. So once you turn that, I think the value that I talk about, turning some into more revenues kind of thing. It's happening. Okay. Another one is in terms of investment decision making. So it's the future direction of your company, which is capex. So how much are you investing into your low carbon? If you're saying your transition, these are some of the indicators. So how much are you putting in year on year? And what is it? So yeah, those two things are, I think to me, I can reflect the most. On the second question, I think for Petronas, because we start off with the voluntary, right? We start off with GRI, TCFD, and some of the Ipieca. So when we start with that, so we have a foundation, we have a base. And then when it evolves into IFRS, they are taking all this into one anyway. So if you're fresh, I think you can start straight away with the IFRS, because more and more now it gives you guidance. And it's actually like how the three of us mentioned, it's now been converging anyway. So then when you start with IFRS, then all these elements of the rest will merge into one eventually. Yeah, so that's my take. Thank you.
Yeah, only for addition from the Petronas that same as with Petronas, the climate thing is our important and materiality for Pertamina. We have two dual growth strategy. What that is the decarbonization and also the what is I mean the new and renewable energy all low carbon business. Yeah, it is how we develop our strategy. So maybe we can back to the concept of sustainability that has 3P: the planet, people, and also the profit. We have the balancing three of these components, not only to the environmental and also the profit for the business. The second one is the ISB, GRI, TCFD, and TNFD. The good news maybe that TCFD is embedded now to the IFRS S2, ISSB to the IFRS S1, and also maybe the TNFD will be the IFRS S3. There will be the interoperability between the GRI and IFRS standard, and it will be the good news for us as the issuer or the reporter to create the sustainability report for the future. Thank you.
I think you got some great answers there. So if I were to add anything, it would be more also to look about the last part of this question, because I totally agree about emission reductions and metrics related to kind of showcasing the transition, and also maybe an intensity metric to securing that you are producing in the best possible with low emissions and so on. But when it comes to the question related to GRI, TCFD, TNFD, and that so on, I totally understand the question in a way. Like it's such a common feeling, I would assume, for so many, and we really want to see it moving to a harmonized framework, which we really see is kind of, as mentioned here, that it comes together, and the interruptibility and so on. And we have probably read, Hendrik and Masai, so many interruptibility documents and agreements across these initiatives and so on. So the only angle that I would maybe introduce here to also see this in a bird perspective is to think about in the 90s, early 90s, the GRI, Global Reporting Initiative, was introduced to build that framework where you had not just corporations and business, but like all organizations who start getting together and collect themselves through a framework where we could communicate performance and sustainability. So for me, GRI was one of those fundamentals that came into the picture very early on and built a strong fundament. And then if you look at GRI as that kind of fundament, opening up the discussions and the dialogue and starting then to narrow on which metrics should be for this sector and this sector, because they also then with time provided sector specific indicators and guidance to each sectors. And also they of course divided it up into topics, environment, and within environment you had the subcategory of waste and water. So you could really navigate and find your way across the different topics and subtopics. When we then look at it in more that bird perspective, thinking about a historic line, you can say that TCFD, which is all about the climate, is kind of accelerating the efforts needed for the climate and how to, I would say, attack, but kind of deal with that element in reporting. It was necessary to come together and have a focus group on climate, and then the same for nature. So these are then actually complementing each other and strengthening them from each other instead of being then going in different directions. They are actually complementary. So looking at the bird perspective, thinking about it that way, it might be easier to approach it. And for ISSB, just to address that one, it has more of the position where it's really considering investors and thinking about also the financial institutions and so on. So it's also thinking about a different voice, since Global Reporting Initiative has in years been that voice of stakeholders, people, planet. So maybe that could bring some life, but I totally get the question still, though. It's yeah. Thank you for the questions, by the way.
Thank you, speakers, for the great answers. I think we've got one more question here in the chat from Hui Nguyen, VC of PRCB Task Force of ASCOPE, and from Petro Vietnam. The question is for speakers from Petronas and Pertamina, whether the corporate HQ decide and set specific sustainability KPIs to subsidiaries to implement and monitor annually, and do Petronas or Pertamina implement internal assessment, which includes benchmarking and ESG plan among the subsidiaries via reported sustainability KPIs. Over to you, Henrik and Masayu.
And you want to take that first?
Yeah. Thank you, Masayu and Aim. Yeah, Pertamina has the, as I mentioned before with our slide, that we have 10 sustainability focus. It has the quantifiable target that will cascade to our subholding. So the 10 sustainability focus and the metric will cascade to our SIG of our subholding and subsidiaries to implement. It monitors annually, and also we also have the ESG initiative in annual ESG initiative that also cascade from the sustainability focus. We monitor the ESG initiative every month, yeah, also report to our sustainability committee. And the final is the ESG initiative on or ESG related thing is the KPI of our top management, and also it will impact the remuneration of our company and also the management if the ESG aspect is not achieved in the current year. Thank you.
I think it's worth to understand how the company is set up first before answering the question. So in a way to Petronas, right? So you have a corporate center, then you have your business, and you have the operating units, within which you have your segment whereby you have your upstream, gas and maritime, downstream, corporate, and others. So what I'm trying to say is once you understand this, right? So then there are two things that works. One is top down, one is bottoms up. So out of this, there are three important elements, which is strategic, tactical, and operational. So when you look at things operationally, it has to be like bottoms up. When you talk about targets, policies, it's top down, right? So at certain points, it's kind of like merging, and the percentage differs when you look putting your lens, either your business, operating unit, or corporate. Like me, for example, I'm from corporate sustainability. The major chunk of our work is actually top down because we hear the data and we engaged and we devise what's the strategy for the overall Petronas. So the strategy again, what's core in that is actually when you view your governance. So like what Hendrik mentioned, tone from the top, and then whether you have a specific policy that's the company will then hook to or must adhere to. And then you go on tactical and you go on operational. That is actually at business. They have to have their strategy, but aligning to the corporate. So yeah, if I were to describe it in general, that's the process that we undertake in Petronas.
Thank you, Masayu and Henrik. There's another interesting question here from Danang PTM. While transparency is a pillar of credible sustainability reporting, certain operational data such as methane leakage rates or carbon capture efficiency could expose competitive vulnerabilities. How should companies balance full disclosure with the protection of proprietary technologies or sensitive operational metrics? Maybe I can let Brigitte to start first on this one based on your experience.
When it comes to methane, like we have actually done quite extensive work on methane to reduce our leakages, and so we see that probably as an advantage also to showcase, and that is low rates with our company, but I also here, of course, understand, and especially on the carbon capture efficiency, again, we also then do talk about the carbon capture that we have within our project, which are quite new and quite new technology. But of course, when it comes to making sure that you're protecting also and not sharing sensitive information, then there is ways to do that. And also in the latest EU regulation, you are also there is this clause, if you could say, that you do not expose, you do not disclose things that can put you in that situation. So there are ways, and there are also within the legislation that we have to stand up to for EU, those protections that you are hinting on here. So, but yes, so there is also an understanding that you should not disclose information that are sensitive.
Henrik and Masayu, would you like to jump in on this, how to balance disclosure and sensitive informations?
I want to add on. I don't want to. I mean, I fully agree with Bridget's explanation just now. How do I view this approach? Right, this question is through collaboration and partnership. I take methane for example. A lot from that association and partnership and the members of OGMPs. How do you then improves your methane management? So through reporting, through initiatives, we do a lot on methane. So that platform will also allows you, like Ipieca, for example, they allows you to share this reporting work group, right? Talking about the advance of the members that is advanced, sharing their experiences. So you're not repeating. And then you kind of know where they're heading and how then they package it, how then they remove certain blockers. So collaboration and partnership expands your options and your horizon. I think that's my approach to this question. Okay.
Thank you. We're almost out of time, but I think I'm just going to take one final question here from Dr. Kishore. What's your opinion on the quality and quantity of sustainability disclosures in annual reports of oil and gas companies in India? Petronas is highlighted here because Petronas have JVs in India with India's ONG companies. We can start, Masayu.
I would say this is also our game in a way that sometimes it's about your appetite for disclosing, right? Your risk and also the opportunities for disclosures. If it's voluntary, then you can play along with your narratives and say, this is what I have and this is how I'm going to tell the stories. But more and more you see the mandatory ones giving you these reliefs, talking about qualitative, but they're moving on for quantitative, which is your data, right? The mature it is, the more quantitative disclosure is asked. So you can't run away from quantitative eventually. But because the I think in India as well, they allow you to narrate, to describe, to disclose or explain, right? So then you can use that to mature your data when, say, for example, you are okay with it, it's verified, then you disclose. For now, use whatever advantage that you have through this qualitative to build on, the story. Thanks.
Thank you. Hendrik, Brigitte, would you like to add anything on India's companies?
I think I don't have the answer because we don't have any business in India. So I think the Petronas will answer it.
Yeah, I also have to apologize, and I do not know it well enough to have a well-opinioned comment here. But as I have understood it, it is developing the regulation there as well. So I assume that will also increase the numbers of the sustainability reports there. Doesn't mean that there are not already in place some really good reports. But it means that, of course, the more that are reporting, and especially here, it's about the listed companies, as we spoke about as well. This is when you look at the capital markets as well, all the listings requires this kind of information for the investors. So I'm pretty sure we will see some really, really good reports. And if I went, and I will actually do that, I will have a look at some Indian companies, and please also provide me with a name of an Indian company or two that I should check out. That would be lovely. So I am actually, okay, I see that it pops up something. So yeah, I would love to go and check that out. So thank you.
Thank you. I promised I wanted to do the last question, but maybe like 3 minutes. How do we improve double materiality and implementation plans in growing economy like India? What are the bottlenecks? Maybe one of you, if you'd like to say a word on this.
I wouldn't say bottlenecks. I would say challenges, especially on the financial implications. I think in terms of impact, we have that all the while through GRI and all other frameworks. But with IFRS, the emphasis is financial implications. I think the challenges are, how do we then approach this? Right now, it's really up to your company to describe and then put your own threshold. So you're kind of scared whether this is right or this is wrong. Is it aligned? So so it's more to, once you put what you have and then having to say that this is your gaps and how do you then work towards it. I think that's a bare minimum of how you approach step by steps. If you're trying to get there and straight away by ticking the box, I think that's the danger of you overdoing things when that's not actually how you do in the company, kind of things. Because of your businesses are very varied, right? Like Petronas Integrated, for example. If you're doing it one area, then you are looking at only one segment, whereas whether that's material or not to your company. So yeah, those are some lines of thoughts that when we're doing it, these are our huge lesson learned. Thanks.
I would also just in relation to double materiality and the financial effects that you have also disclosures on for how it affects your company, thinking about outside in towards the company. This is not an easy task. Like this is also about forward-looking information. It's about sensitive information. So of course this is also a change and challenge, as you nicely put it. So it's a common shared challenge, I would say.
Thank you. I think we're nearing the end of the session. I'm gonna close the session now. Before that, special thanks to our co-host ASCOPE for this meaningful and valuable collaboration. Thank you to all our speakers for sharing their valuable insights, and to everyone in the audience for joining us today for the webinar. We hope today's session has given you a clearer understanding of the sustainability reporting, as well as how the guidance, the standards can support your organization's efforts. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder, a recording of today's session and relevant materials will be shared with you. And on behalf of Ipieca, API, IGP, ASCOPE, thank you again for your participation and engagement. Have a great day and goodbye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.